Hello everybody, welcome back to the 3D Critic channel. I'm David, your host, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the best shoes that I've tried so far when it comes to the overall fit. And basically, and when it comes to this list, it's going to be a recommendations list for people that would like to go true to size when it comes to buying shoes, and narrow feet going down half a size as a result of that. There are some shoes where if you are a narrow foot you can go true to size overall because of that, and for wide footers I will go up half a size when it comes to the recommendations I'm going to present on this list. So starting off, I have the LeBron Next Gens, which has this textile mesh material in the forefoot, and when it came to the overall spacing, the length and the width was nice and conformed overall to your foot, so you won't have any dead space from side to side and going up and down inside the shoe. So it was overall pretty good when it came to the LeBron Next Gens. I also have the Jordan Tatum ones, which featured the Leno weave upper with a mesh shroud underneath it, and it conformed to my foot pretty well, and I didn't have any dead space inside the shoe when it came to that. The length and the width were nice and uniform to the foot, so I didn't have any issues with movement in the forefoot area in the Tatum ones. Next up, I'm going to have the Puma MB.02s as well as the 03s. The fuse as well as the mesh overlays in the 02s gave a nice conformed feel in the forefoot. That way you won't experience any dead space in the forefoot. The length and the width were nice and conformed to your foot, and it gave you a really nice snug fit, as well as the 03s, which has the double layered mesh upper, and it conformed to my foot really nicely, and the length and the width was nice and conformed as well. I also have the Curry Flow 10s, which featured Under Armour's Warp upper, which is really nice overall when it comes to conforming or around your foot. It was very nice and snug overall, and I didn't experience any movement going from side to side. It was really nice and snug. The length and the width were really nice, and it gave me a really decent space while being really snug at the same time. Next up, I have the Way of Wade 10 Lows, which featured a really thin mesh upper in the forefoot, and it conformed to my foot really nicely overall. Didn't experience any dead space inside the shoe overall, and the material itself conformed to my foot really nicely. That way it gave you a really nice snug one-to-one fit in that respect. So it was a pretty good shoe overall when it comes to the fit. Next up, I have the Puma Rise Nitros, which featured a mesh upper in the forefoot along with the nylon shroud that you get right on top of it, and it was really snug for me, and I went true to size because of that. And for it to be like loosen up the overall fit a little bit, I had to break it in overall. So if you have a narrow foot, I would probably go true to size as well, and for narrow feet I would probably go up a half size, maybe a full size overall, because of how tight and snug it was in the forefoot, and I didn't have any dead space whatsoever when it came to the Rise Nitros. So it was pretty good overall, and the snug fit that you get was a little too snug at first, so make sure you break it in when you purchase a pair. Next up, I have the Nike GT Jump 2s, which featured a Leno weave upper with a mesh layer right underneath it, and overall in the forefoot it conformed to my foot pretty well, and I didn't experience any dead space when it came to the length as well as the width of the shoe, so you won't experience any dead space overall inside the shoe, as well as movement in that aspect. Next up, I have the Way of Wade 808 Ultras, which featured a bunch of synthetic fuse overlays in the forefoot, as well as some textile mesh, and the overall shape of the foot in the forefoot was really nice and uniform to my foot. It gave me a really nice fit, and when you break it in, it was really nice and comfortable as well. So length and the width overall in the 808 Ultras were really nice and really snug overall, and it was very forgiving at the same time, and it wasn't too tight overall. So it was pretty good when it came to the overall fit in the 808 Ultras. I also have the Nike Zoom Freak 5s, which features a synthetic leather material overall in the forefoot with a mix of textile mesh, and it overall molded to my foot pretty well. I liked how comfortable it was in the forefoot, and it was overall nice and snug while being a little spacious on top of that. So the length and the width was really nice and uniform to my foot, and I really liked how well it fitted under my foot. I also have the LeBron 20s as well as the LeBron 21s. And the 20s, the knitted upper gives you a nice, really snug fit initially. But once you break it in, it will space out a little bit. That way it gives you a nice, comfortable, snug one-to-one fit. So I liked how it fit my foot overall when it came to the LeBron 20s. And in the 21s, I would have to break them in for a good bit if you order your true size, because initially it was really tight overall in the forefoot. When it came to the width of the shoe, I felt that to be a little tight, but once you break it in, it spaces out really nicely. That way you have a nice snug one-to-one fit in the width as well as the length on top of that. So overall, if you have a wide foot, I'd probably go up half a size, maybe a full size, considering how narrow the shoe is overall, in my opinion. But once I broke it in, it gave me a really nice snug one-to-one fit overall. Just make sure if you have a wide foot, I'd probably go up a full size, maybe a half size. Although if you do that, you are sacrificing the length of the shoe to be a little too much for your foot, and you will have some movement inside the shoe as well. So be cautious of that, and it would only work for people that have a slightly narrow foot overall. So that is my list of the best fitting shoes that I have tried so far this year. Comment down below if you agree on this list and what you think is the best fitting shoe overall when it comes to that. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below as well. And if you want to stay tuned to future videos that I'll be posting, as I've said before, I'm posting videos every other day until the end of the year. So if you guys want to stay up to date with any of my videos, hit the subscribe button down below, and it'll greatly support the channel as well. And if you'd like to stay in touch with me via social media, I will leave that information in the description box below, as well as links to all the shoes that I have mentioned on this list. I will leave links to the reviews that I have done of these shoes in the description box below as well, if you guys are interested in the reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys on choosing the best fitting shoes overall. And until next time, keep shooting.